on, Jacob?
going on? How you doing, man?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's going on?
Not a whole lot, man. I appreciate you doing this.
Dude, I appreciate you, man. So I saw this on the calendar today, and I started looking at your Instagram page, some of your past interviews, and they're all really great, man. You're a great interviewer.
Oh, thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks for checking it out. That's awesome.
Is that you playing on the intro song?
Oh, no. That's my friend Scott. He's in a band called Unwritten Law. He wrote the theme song part.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Where are you at?
So I'm in Madison, Tennessee right now, right outside of Nashville.
Oh, okay. Right on. It looks beautiful there.
Yeah, dude, it is gorgeous. We're right here. The Cumberland River is right here. You're 20 minutes from downtown, on a boat.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So you're fairly close to Nashville, just on the
Very
outskirts?
close. Yeah,
okay.
I could be downtown, no time, probably 20 minutes, drive as well.
What about, how close is that to Brentwood and Franklin and that?
About 30 minutes, from there.
Cool. Yeah. My wife and I were looking into the area just because we've heard good things. We're in California, but
oh, cool. You're coming here?
We were thinking about it. Yeah.
Dude, I would definitely look at Madison, man. It's
okay.
It's on the up and up, and it's just really cool.
It looks like you have a lot of space. We want a yard.
Dude, yeah. This is a huge yard, and a little kind of a cabin house, and it's really cool. This is not my place. I'm just over here for a little bit.
Cool. Yeah, I'm writing down Madison right now.
You will love it. Yeah, if you need somebody in the real estate, if you need an agent or something, our friend, she's great.
Oh,
Lisa
cool.
Hine.
Awesome. We'll call you, or we'll talk after this for sure.
Yeah, cool.
Cool, man. Well, again, thank you so much for doing this. Our podcast is about your journey in music and how you got to where you are now. And, of course, we'll talk about the Brummies and what you guys are doing right now. So
cool.
You from Tennessee area originally or no?
So I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. So everybody that's in the Brummies, there's 3 primary members. It's me, Jacob Bryant, John Davidson, and Trevor Davis. And we're all from Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, okay. Did you all know each other prior to moving to Nashville, or just happened to?
We moved up here together, yeah.
Okay.
So John and I have known each other since 2nd grade, and then Trevor grew up in the same neighborhood. We grew up together.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you get into music?
For me, growing up, it was just always around. My grandfather, he was in a bluegrass band, and my dad was also always playing country music, and so I kind of rebelled against that, and I was like, I'm not playing country music, because that's what he was always doing. But John's grandfather, he was in a very successful gospel band, so that's had a lot of influence on us as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So what was the first instrument you learned?
First instrument, I wanted to play drums. So I was listening to System of a Down and Nirvana, and I was like, man, I want to play drums. So I remember that was in 5th grade. Okay. And I remember when you were going into 6th grade, I knew I wanted to be in the band, for school, and you had to pick an instrument. So I remember going, and I actually took drumsticks to the rehearsal, not the rehearsal, what do you call it? It's like a test. You play all the instruments. So I went through, brought my own drumsticks, did the entire test thing, and they're like, no, actually, you can play drums, but we'd rather you play trumpet, because apparently I had a good buzz, right off the gate. So trumpet's the first instrument that I actually learned.
Okay.
And then when I was about 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, that's when I picked up a guitar.
Okay. And never went to drums at that point?
Well, I kind of just did, and I still write on drums. I'm not great, but I can keep a groove, and I like writing like that sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, right on. So guitar then was
guitar. Oh, yeah. Well, trumpet.
Then
trumpet
guitar.
Trumpet, then the guitar. And the reason I picked up a guitar is because nobody wanted to hear me play trumpet. Probably because I was so bad.
So you picked the guitar up, and then from there, what happened? Did you start learning songs, writing songs?
So I started playing guitar, and kind of like immediately after that, I started, looking up songs, looking up tabs and that kind of stuff, but started writing songs. And then when I was about a sophomore, John had a band, and we had this class together, driver's ed. And he was like, man, you need to come to my house and practice with us. We got this gig coming up and we need a lead guitar player. So I went and played with him, and then we've been playing together ever since.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that was like the first rendition, or so to speak, of the Brummies.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we had this little, this band, and we played throughout high school. We changed the name a couple of times. And then we played in college. I was playing trumpet for the marching band at UAB. John was going to UAB. And we had a band. We'd play around Birmingham and like Zydeco and just all these bars. And that's where we kind of started, our following started growing. And it was around 2011, John, he had a songwriter cousin, still does, Neil Thrasher. And he said, why don't y'all boys come up here and play some people your tunes? So we went to Major Bob was our first stop, and they ended up signing us to a publishing deal. So that brought us to Nashville. So then we immediately moved up here and started writing for Major Bob, and kind of just going through our, just trying to find our sound. And it was right about that time the band Perry was going over to England to tour, and they were also with Major Bob. And they said, hey, do you want to go open up for them? Do you have your passport? I was like, I don't have a passport. Shit. I've barely left Alabama,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I went and got my passport expedited, and probably it was within 2 days. And then within 2 days, we were flying over to the UK, and that's how we needed a band name. And so they just called us John and Jacob. And so we toured as John and Jacob for the longest time, but then we're like, that's not what we really want to do. And the Brummies came about around 2017, when we're like, this is what the music that we truly want to make and what we have to say. Mm-hmm. So we made Eternal Reach, and we put that out in 2018, and then toured a lot with that. And then what was it? We just recorded a new album that's about to come out in November, Automatic World.
Yeah,
I mean, we just had like the craziest path, with just different people taking us on tour, from the band Perry, Need to Breathe. We toured so much with Casey Musgraves, like her first tour, Same Trailer, Different Park tour, and then Pageant Material. That's kind of in a nutshell.
Wow. Okay. Well, I want to go back real quick. So you guys were playing local shows, bars in Alabama area, right? And you started growing a following that way.
Yeah.
So then you go to Nashville. How did you get signed? You said you got a publishing deal with Major Bob. And how did that happen? You said you were writing and stuff, but like, how did you meet the people, and like, how did that relationship build, and how did you actually get the publishing deal?
So John, he has a cousin, Neil Thrasher. He's a successful writer here in Nashville. He just got us the meeting,
He just got you the meeting, and then from there,
that was it though. That was nothing else. He was like, I'll get you the meeting, but y'all you do your thing. So, me and John show up, nervous as hell, with 2 acoustic guitars, a tambourine and a trumpet, and we play some songs for them. And they want us. They said, we'll just play those songs again. And by the end of the day, they were like, we want to sign you. We're going to get our lawyer to send you over some paperwork. And we're like, what the hell? Yeah. I mean, it literally changed our lives. And then, so when we got back from that tour in the UK with the band Perry, they would watch our sets when we were opening up for them. So when we got back, they're like, "Hey, do you want to write for our new record?" And we're like, "Sure." So we wrote a song with them, and that song it became a #1 song on the country charts. It's called
Whoa.
"Done." So me and John wrote that with Neil and Reed from the band Perry, and that was insane. I mean, from going to being in Birmingham doing the bar thing, to getting a publishing deal, to going to England and touring all over, to coming back, writing a song with them, and then that going #1, and then and then now it's like, you know, but not every year besides this, we go to England, you know, every year, and we've toured all over. It's taken us everywhere. It's so much fun.
That's awesome. So
It's insane. It's insane. We're just like, you know, super lucky. But I mean, we are always writing, and we are, you know, we're always working and trying to get better and just write better songs.
Did you, I mean, tell me about the process of, you know, writing with the band Perry, and then seeing that song just, you know, take off and go #1. That must have been pretty exciting.
It was insane. It was insane. So I mean, we get the right. Andy Friday, he's over at Major Bob. He's at Purple Beat now, but he's like, "Hey, do you want to write with the band Perry?" We're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well," he kind of helped facilitate that. So they come over to Major Bob, and we're in the studio, and we're just kind of, you know, picking around on this little idea. I think Neil had his mandolin and was playing this little riff, and it just kind of came out really naturally. But John and I stayed up till like probably like 3 or 4 a.m. I'd imagine, demoing it after they left.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't even have a second verse at that time, honestly. But we just demoed out the song and then kind of threw in what we thought the second verse should be. They ended up hearing it, and management, they're like, "Why don't y'all get back together on this song and work on it a little bit more?" So we met up, I think, 2 other times after that. And then the next thing you know, Dan Huff is in the studio cutting it, playing guitar on it, you know, and and then the next thing you know, it's, you know, it's on the album. And then the next thing you know, it's a single. The next thing you know, it's #1. I mean, it's just, it's absolutely insane. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
That's cool. That's so cool. I mean, I can't even imagine. Like, did you get like a gold record or anything awesome like that?
We got some plaques, you know, and that kind of stuff. But, you know, I just had this tiny little apartment in Nashville, and, you know, both of our families came up, you know, to see the #1 party. And when they started giving us the plaques and stuff, you know, I just gave mine to my family. I was like, "Y'all take these." So now when I go back home, like, my mom has one, my grandmother has one, you know, in her house, and everybody's got something from it. But yeah,
that's awesome. What a cool experience, and what a cool, you know, have your family there and everything. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Wow. Okay, so you guys wrote that song, and then obviously stuff was going for you, but you didn't start the band, the Brummies, until later. You were talking about, right? After that. Or you guys were just playing together as the two of you?
Yeah, so the Brummies, we were playing together as the 2 of us, but like, we had a band around us. The reason we were called John and Jacob is because, like I said, we moved up to Nashville. We actually had another band. It's called Aerophonics Atlas. But when we were asked to go to England, they said, "You need a band name. You need to have some kind of name to open up." So the management at the time, they're like, not management, it was our publisher at the time. They're like, we'll just introduce y'all as John and Jacob, and y'all just do the tour as John and Jacob. So, but that ended up kind of taking off, especially over in England. And then we toured over there with Casey, and, you know, as John and Jacob. But the name the Brummies came from, we're touring as John and Jacob. We didn't really like that name because we never wanted to be considered like a duo. We wanted to be a band. And every night when we'd play, I'd be like, you know, "Thank y'all so much. You know, we're John and Jacob for Birmingham, Alabama." And someone would always go, "You fucking Brummie." You know, they call us a Brummie.
Okay.
And we're like, "What the hell?" And then at the merch booth every night, people come up and be like, "You're Brummies. You're Brummies." And we're like, "What does that mean?" So in England, if you're from Birmingham, UK, you're a Brummie. And so we're Birmingham, Alabama. So every time that we go over there, everybody just calls us Brummies, and we're like, you know what? We're the Brummies. That's you know, yeah.
That's cool. That's a great story for how you got your name too. I like that. Wow.
Yeah.
And were you playing songs from the Eternal Reach record? Like, are all the songs the same? You just changed the name?
No. I mean,
Oh,
actually, wow. you can go. Yeah, there's a John and Jacob album floating around out there somewhere. But like I said, that was kind of the music that we're making when we came to town. But it's not really the music that we. I mean, we love those songs, but it wasn't recorded or done how we actually want it to. The Brummies is like stylistically, that's our journey, that's our path where we're trying to really, you know, show what we love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the new single you just put out with the video and everything,
After Midnight,
that's got like a total like it's like dancey, like indie vibe to it. That's what it reminds me of. It's kind of like a throwback sound too. I like it.
Yeah, man. Thanks, dude. Yeah. So yeah, Eternal Reach was kind of like straight, or like our 70s, you know, kind of 70s rock vibes, and that kind of transferred over into this as well. But we just tried to really expand sonically, you know, still tracking, you know, everything to tape. Then like with synthesizers and that kind of stuff, kind of sonically, just expanding what we do.
Sure. So you still recorded tape now?
Yeah. We record over at Battle Tapes, and all of our drums and bass. There's a lot of stuff. As much stuff as we can. We always go to tape first and then bounce that in. And then, like, we'll do overdubs and that kind of stuff, and over that.
Right. Wow, that's cool that you still are recording tape. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we record over at Battle Tapes with Jeremy Ferguson. We did Eternal Reach there, so we kept the same vibe. But then after we finished with Jeremy, we went over to the Chateau Noir, and that's our buddy Jared Kay. He also helped produce the Automatic World, our upcoming album, and we'd do the overdubs and the vocals there for this.
Oh, right project. On. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Eternal Reach came out in 2018. Tell me about the transformation to the Brummies. Like, was there a sound change? Like you said, there's a record out there called just John and Jacob. Like the sound of that was different than Eternal Reach.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Totally. I mean, it's like we were just so like fresh to Nashville, and like I said, we just we got asked to play these tours, and we just put out a bunch of basically demos, kind of that we had thrown together, and with the Brummies, it was very thought out. It's just the music that we always wanted to make. Truly, that was kind of the John Jacob stuff was a learning experience. And we didn't truly feel like it ever really represented who we were and what we wanted to say, or the music that we wanted to make. But I still love everything that we did. The Brummies was just like, well, okay, this is, even though we write all the time together, but this is a band. It's John, it's Trevor, and I. It's not John and Jacob.
Sure.
Like, so.
Was there like a song that you wrote, or a moment that you're like, that you realized like, hey, this really isn't what we should be doing? Like, this is the lane we want to take. Like, was there like a song?
Is there a song that kind of changed that?
Yeah. Like, was there a song where you're like, this is the new thing?
That it's tough. There's so many. I mean, I would just say that entire album. Eternal Reach. I mean, everything that we did, I felt like it was very intentional. And that album, we wanted to tell a story, and we wanted to feel like almost like you're just watching a film, like, and it's just, it takes you through a journey. And so I think we went into it with that kind of in
Okay.
mind when we were going through it.
Nice. And then tell me about this new record and the new song that you guys just put out and everything.
So the new record is going to be called Automatic World. It's going to come out in November, I believe. And then after midnight, it was kind of, we had a bunch of songs that we were about to go into the studio and record. And our bass player, Warren Lively, we're down there in the studio kind of in pre-production with Austin Jenkins and Jared Kay, and then all of us, all the band members. And we're just kind of messing around with some stuff. And he had this thing on synthesizer he was playing. And everybody kind of just dancing around and kind of like, it's just like this little disco vibe. And I kind of just started singing some things. I didn't even know what I was trying to say or anything. Is this, kind of sometimes it just mumble through and, but we just worked that out in pre-production. That was literally one of the last songs that made the record. And we wrote it probably a week before we were going in.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So a week right before you go to the studio, you had that song finished?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then what about the video? How did you guys shoot the video? Was
So
that done?
So the video, it's my favorite video that we've done. We wanted it to be, this is kind of silly. Do you ever see that movie, Little Monsters?
Yeah, with
okay.
Fred
I just love I love the vibes.
That's like
movie,
one of my favorite movies as a kid. I remember going to Blockbuster and trying to like hope it was there to rent it.
Oh my gosh. I just love it so much. I still love that movie, but aesthetically, it's just so cool. And it's so, I just love the way it looks. But I was like, what if we just do this? It started off with, what if we did like Olivia Newton-John physical, but make them monsters? And so it started off where we're just going to have, some of our friends, our girlfriends, just, kind of, dancing, doing like this Olivia Newton-John physical thing, except monsters. And then we're like, you know what? What if we just create this, kind of TV programming based off of Little Monsters? And that's kind of how it came together. And we had so much fun making that. It's so much fun.
That now that you say Little Monsters, I totally get it now. That you're like looking at just like the glued on like rubbery horns and stuff.
Yeah.
It just totally reminds me of that movie now.
So if you watch it, you have a news anchor, that's kind of giving you the news. Then you have like the workout channel. That's the Olivia Newton-John kind of monsters. Then you have your cooking show, that's on there. And then you have a weatherman on there. And then you have kind of like your ladies' man, against at the jukebox, drinking his thing. But gosh, and then also John's son Ollie, he makes an appearance in there 2 times. Like he's like,
okay. The kid in there, that's his son.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We put like a bunch of Easter eggs in there, like the weatherman's pointing to sunshine. That's one of our songs off the album. And then like the news network, it's AWTV, and the AW is Automatic World.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And then we have another song that's coming out on the album. It's called Cherry Blossom. So the news guy, he like points up, and that's a cherry blossom up in the top left.
Oh, interesting. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. So we just had it. I can't tell you how much fun we had. It was awesome.
That's cool. Was that done post-COVID or during it, or
that was during COVID, and we made sure everybody had tests, and we followed all the kind of precautions the best that we could to make it happen. But we filmed it at Soft Junk here in Nashville, and that place, it already has like these monster vibes in there. But Nick, he let us use it, and it turned out great.
That's amazing. Right on. Well, dude, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Dude, thank you.
Yeah. What about like, were you guys like on the road, or how much did like the lockdown and the pandemic throw a wrench in what you guys were doing?
I mean, we were going to be touring,
right. But like, you were on
this entire
tour
time.
when it happened.
I mean, yeah. So when that didn't happen, we're going to be trying to support this album that's about to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, one thing, you know, I always try to find like the upside in things. Like creatively, we've been writing a lot with Zoom and like Google Drive. So like I'm at my studio, John's at his studio, and then we'll write with people all over the country. We've even had we wrote with some people from Berlin where we can all be in our studio, you know, everybody has their BPM and kind of write a song, and everybody's just sending files, you know, into the Google Drive from these different studios. So it's like we're finding like this really cool way to create. And I'm sure a lot of things that we've been creating during this quarantine will probably be album 3, if not like an EP following this album, you know. I don't know. Wow. We'll see.
That's cool. So you've actually been able to be creative. I know some people were able to be creative in the beginning, and then like it got to the point where they're sick of, you know, how much more creativity can you get out of these same 4 walls. But that's awesome that you guys are able to.
Dude, yeah, no. I feel like it's always great to be in the room and feel the energy, you know, with people. But and I don't know, it's just being creative in this different kind of lane, and we're just really enjoying it. Yeah, I mean, we're probably writing 3 to, you know, at least 3 songs a week, 3 to 5, you know.
Wow.
And that's, I mean, that's been during the entire every week, you know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so you have a ton of material.
We have so much, so yeah, we're gonna, you know, kind of look through that and see if we can find some more stuff to put out and, you know, release into the world.
Right on. What about live stream shows? Have you guys done any of those?
You know, that's one thing. There's nothing, I don't have anything against it, but like right when this quarantine started, so many people just went and be like, I got a live stream. And I don't know, it just, unless I get it, I get why you want to do it. But like, unless it's going to sound good and I don't know, it's just gotta, when we play, there's, I guess, a certain aesthetic and a vibe and stuff. I don't think that really translates, you know, as well, you know. I think we're going to do, you know, a couple of things where we play like maybe like a song, but it's never been like a full on like live stream show, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Maybe like a song or something along those lines. Yeah. That's cool. Well, thank you again so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. I do have one more question. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
I would say write every single day, because, I mean, you're going to write so many bad songs, and but then you'll write a better song, and then you'll figure out why that's better. And I would also say collaborate, write with other people, you know, like, and if we weren't in quarantine, I'd be like, go to every open mic that you can. In Birmingham, John and I, we're going to every single open mic. I would look in the one of the local magazines, and I would find every open mic, and we would make sure that we were hitting them all. And then when we came to Nashville, we had a publishing deal and everything. We were still going to all the open mics, and we just wanted to play. Like it didn't matter. It didn't matter if it was a damn. We played Cinco de Mayo at this a Spanish restaurant in Trussville, Alabama, wearing sombreros, and we just wanted to play, you know.
Right.
It's like it didn't matter. So I would say get out there and just play and write every single day.